Yo, what's up, all you burner storms and potheads? This is Weedman 420 with the Weedman 420 Chronicles. How are all you vipers doing out there? Mrs. Weedman.
Mr. Weedman.
How the hell are you?
Fantastic.
I love it. You're back.
I'm back. I'm back.
Hey, all you vipers out there in the world. Hopefully you're smoking some big fat doinks while you're listening to the show. And Mrs. Weedman and I are about to get normal with some Slurricane that was grown by our friend Ignius. And I'm going to tell you all about it while Mrs. Weedman lights up that doink. You ready, everybody? First doink and first episode of 2025, and we are smoking Slurricane, is a slightly indica-dominant hybrid strain, 60-40, created through the potent cross of delicious Do-Si-Do and Purple Punch strains. If you are an indica lover who appreciates super flavorful toke and a potent punch effects that look no further, Slurricane will totally have you dazed with its delicious, I say, because I've already smoked this 3 times, deliciousness of a super flavorful toke and a potent punch of effects. So look no further. Slurricane will totally have you dazed. And this bud packs a super sweet fruity berry flavor extended by spicy tropical fruits and earth upon exhale. The aroma takes a pungent turn with spicy earthy overtones that are extended by herbs and berries. The Slurricane high settles in a few minutes after you first delicious exhale, creeping up on the back of your head with tingly effects before suddenly taking hold. You'll feel a soaring euphoria grow and grow, filling with your expansive happiness that pushes out any negative thoughts. A potent body high comes next. That I will fucking say that for sure. Lulling you into a completely couch-like state that has you totally immovable for hours and hours on end. I will say this, Mrs. Weedman last night in bed could not get out of bed to go do something.
I was stuck.
Slurricane is the perfect choice for treating patients suffering from migraines, headaches, chronic pain, cramps, or muscle spasms, and chronic fatigue. The bud has fluffy, grape-shaped, oversized dark olive green nugs with rich purple undertones, thin amber hairs, and a coating of purple-tinted tiny white crystal trichomes. Effects: body high, hungry, tingly, uplifting. Relieves symptoms of chronic pain, cramps, fatigue, headaches, migraines, muscle spasms. Flavors are berry, fruity, herbally, spicy, sweet, and tropical. And then aromas are berry, earthy, pungent, spicy, sweet, and tropical. I will say this, Ignius, thank you so much for this strain. It is fantastic. We have been smoking this since Sunday. It is now Tuesday. We've been smoking this for 3 straight days. And the first time I saw when he had this, the first time I saw him grow it was maybe like 2 months ago, like 2 Brunch of Stoners ago. And we did not have a chance to smoke it because I was smoking some other strains that he had bought, but I had smelled it. And I said, next time you have any of this, please let me know. And I saw him on Sunday, and he gave me some nice nugs of this, and I will say this is fantastic.
It's great.
Yes.
Yeah, literally, I was couch locked.
You weren't couch locked.
I
you
was
were bed locked.
Like, I got in bed. I'm like, I can't move. I couldn't even pull the covers up. Like, nothing would work. It was just mush. It was great.
That was funny. I was kind of falling asleep, and all of a sudden, I'm like, I rolled my head over, and I was like, "You okay?"
Yeah.
Like, I can't get up.
I couldn't move.
Get up. I was laughing. It's a good strain.
It's great.
It's good weed. I love it.
Good stuff.
We're going to be this Sunday. We have an event, our first event of 2025, at one of our favorite spots, Blue Island Beer Company in Blue Island, Illinois. And we are going to be at the Spliff Society event. I don't know the name of it. I just know we're going to be there from 5 to 10.
It's the After Dark Sesh.
The After Dark Sesh. And if you haven't been to a Spliff Society event, Tree Huggers is also doing that with them, right?
Yep.
Tree Huggers, Spliff Society, the After Dark Sesh. It's a banger. It's a lot of fun. Anything they do, Briggs does and his team does, always produce something really special and fun, and they always bring banging DJs.
There are 4 DJs lined up. Yeah.
Nice.
The DJ starts at 5. The event goes from 5 to 10. So every hour and 15 minutes
It's
or
worth,
so.
I don't know what they
new.
charge for tickets, but it's worth every penny of it.
It's great. I think it's $10 online. 10, maybe 15 at the door.
Right.
So grab a ticket. I know as of earlier today, there were still some left. It's going to be fun. There's going to be vendors. There will be music. It's a craft.
Food.
It's a craft brewery, so there's beer if you're looking for that. Also craft cocktails.
Yeah.
And then there will be consumption and food.
Yes.
So it's going to be a great day.
And Mr. and Mrs. Weedman.
We'll be there with 8 decades and Weedman 420.
Yeah, and I'll be rolling doinks.
Yeah.
And come see me. I think Midwest Terps is sponsoring the table.
Nice.
Yeah, I talked to him this week and asked him if he had some extra great strains, and he said he got me. So, and I'll have some of my own. I might even bring a couple nugs of this Slurricane. I don't know if I want to give any of it up because it's so good. But I will have some homegrown too, and some Big Earl's weed, and maybe a little Slurricane. So I'm looking forward to this Saturday. And our first event of 2025. So make sure you come check us out and come check out everybody there. There's some really cool vendors and some good stuff. So thanks for having us, Blue Line Beer Company and Spliff Society and Tree Huggers. We appreciate you inviting us. 2025 is here.
It is.
And I will say this. For the last 2 weeks, it's been very nice. I want to thank you, Mrs. Weedman, for getting me unscroogey.
Oh.
You did a great job. And you brought the Christmas cheer to the house and to our family. Christmas Day was amazing. And also New Year's was a lot of fun. You had COVID.
Yeah, I did.
But it was still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because we cooked a phenomenal dinner. And your sister came over too, and who had just gotten over COVID. And I didn't get it. You want to know why?
Why?
Because I'm strong like bull.
Nah.
I'm not saying I'm not going to get it. I'm not saying I haven't gotten it before, but right now I didn't get it. Must be the 90 different vitamins and minerals and herbs I take every day.
Maybe. Which we pulled out to look at.
We did.
And it's pretty insane.
It's disgusting.
While my sister was here, we pulled every product out that you put in your shake and into your body on a daily basis. And you were even surprised at how much.
Because I take
we
it all
still
out.
haven't tallied it up to see how much it all costs.
No. But
because
I don't
you're
want
just
to.
always buying something to replenish.
When I run out, I replenish.
But they all
I
run
try
out
to
at
always have a
different
backup
times.
too, because I don't like to run out. Because the stuff I take is and I'm probably going to add more to my repertoire. I probably have like 3 or 4 more herbs and minerals I want to add, and vitamins I want to add to my body. Vitamins. So, but so we had a phenomenal New Year's. It was a lot of fun. It was just the 3 of us chilling, watched the ball drop, got really drunk, and then got really stoned. And,
I didn't get drunk.
I didn't get drunk either.
You got really baked.
I got really baked, but our sister-in-law got a little buzzy. Yes, I did not get drunk.
She had a good buzz.
Yes, I got really stoned though. I think that's why I felt like I was drunk. And then New Year's Day is always a phenomenal thing in our house because we know it's the last really day we're gonna devour food, like everything bad for you that you don't eat on a regular basis. And we manged out on New Year's Day, like we always do. And then, like I said in the last episode, it's a rookie mistake to start your goals and to start your workout routine on the day after New Year's Day, like the second, especially if you're going into that first weekend. So we just relaxed, reset, refreshed. We didn't record last week. We took a break. And that's what you need. We took a nice break from everything. We did not do anything, really. We went and visited some accounts and thanked them and stuff like that on that Friday. But we really didn't do much. We just took it easy and relaxed. And then January 6th happened, and all of a sudden I was like, it's go time, right? It's time to get the show ready. It's time to start getting back because I got a little baby muffin top from all that stuff. I put on some jeans. I was like, oh no, the Muffin Man is coming.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
Do you know the Muffin Man lives on Drury Lane? And so I was like, oh, I did it in really well for the holidays. So I know my workout routine and my eating routine for the next 30 to 60 days. And I can pop it out pretty quick, so I'm not really worried about it. But it was just like, whoa, I got a big muffin top. I am 52, you know. It's not as easy it's easier to put it on than it is to take off, right? I guess as they say when you hit a certain age. And for all you 50-year-olds out there, you probably know what I'm talking about. And but hopefully everybody out there had a great holidays, whatever you celebrate. I know I've said this before, but thank you for everybody out there in the world for listening to us and just being a part of this and helping us grow in 2025. And hopefully you come along for the ride with us, you know?
Yeah.
And, but a lot of good things happening, you know, in the world, and a lot of bad things happening in the world right now. We just need some peace and love and kindness and happiness. And just my number one goal this year, I think, besides my personal, like I have my goals that I set every year, what I want to accomplish in business, what I want to accomplish with our marriage, what I want to accomplish with our kids, what I want to accomplish in life. But then I add a couple extra here and there. And I'm not going to go over all of them, but the one that I really, really want to work on this year is just to be more kind and just to be happy and to have a good outlook on life and give people more of a smile than a frown. You know, and that's my thing this year, I think. And I want to try to do better each and every day at that, and just to make sure people know that there is somebody out there that's going to give you a smile when they walk past them. You know, might not say any words, but I just might give you a smile. Don't think I'm weird, please.
No, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
You know, if you are out and about and you come across one friendly person that goes a little extra into the friendly factor, it can impact your entire day.
Right.
It's a feel good. And
gonna be a feel good for
because
me.
it doesn't happen as frequently
Right.
anymore. When it does happen, you're like, whoa, that person was really nice.
Yeah, I'm just going to be nice and
puts a big
kind.
smile on your
Yeah,
face.
I just want to be nice. There's no reason to be a dick or an asshole. You know, just it doesn't get you anywhere. And just if someone's mean and nasty to me, I'm just going to kill them with kindness because, you know, and maybe they just needed it, you know, and maybe I just need to be a better person each and every day. And if we'd all come do that out there, it'll just be a better place to live. You know, I mean, it's going to get crazy here for a minute, you know, and we'll see what happens in a couple of weeks and here in the States. And yeah, I just want to go live life and stop dealing with all the bullshit. So I'm going to get to living before I get to dying. You know, and we had 4 friends pass away in 2024 in a quick period of time within like what?
Young people.
Yes,
Yeah.
our age, and neighborhood people. Like we're not talking about like family. We're talking about people that we've known in the neighborhood for 25, 26
We've raised
years.
our children with their children.
Yes.
We've seen them in the neighborhood, been
Yes.
friends with them.
Baseball games, softball games.
Yep. Sitting on the
Football
bleachers.
game. Yeah, you know, and maybe sometimes we go to a pizza joint, a bunch of people get together, or someone has thrown a little party after one of the games, and everyone would get together and have some beers in the driveway, whatever. It's just 25, 26 years of knowing these 4 people. Some of them we were closer than others, but we knew them, friendly, casual, cordial with everybody. And like Mrs. Weedman said, our kids all went to school together. Or grew up together on the same block, and it really hit home. I did the last 2 weeks, knowing the last person that passed away was pretty close to Christmas, and knowing the 4 people that we knew in the last, let's just say 6 months, right? And knowing that I'm 52, and these people were all around my age, between 52 and what, 58?
Something like that, yeah.
It really put a fucking thought in my head going, what am I doing with my fucking life? What am I doing with the rest of my life? All of a sudden, you cannot wake up tomorrow. And where am I at? What did I do? What do I accomplish? Was it? I was thinking about like back in high school, or did I bully some people that I never got to apologize to? And I did. I'm not going to say I was perfect. I know there was probably 1 or 2 people in my life I bullied in high school or in grammar school or whatever. You know, I would love to apologize to them. I don't even know where they're at. You know, I know I wasn't always nice to people, you know, in my 52 years of life. And I want to apologize to people who I wasn't always kind and nice to. And how you make up for that now is to be a better person, and knowing that tomorrow I could not be here because, like I said, 4 people my age just passed away randomly. One of them was sick out of the 4, right? The other 3 were somewhat healthy or healthy, right? And knowing not to wake up tomorrow going, what did I do with my life? What was my POD?
Right.
Do you want to know what a POD is?
Purpose of the day?
Nope. Point of difference.
Point of difference.
What is my point of difference each and every day out there? What difference did I make in the world? Was I a slug and didn't do shit?
What did I say it was?
Point of the day. Or purpose of the day.
On purpose of the day.
Mine is, what is my point of difference each and every day? And I'm going to go out in the world and live life to the fullest. When I was doing my Instagram, and I would do my Sunday morning session and tell everybody to go live life and go have fun and go enjoy it, because you should. Because you cannot. I might not be here tomorrow, and I'm not going to let anyone ruin my day. Moving forward, I am not going to let anyone take my happiness and my goals and my peace of mind and my kindness away from me because you want to be a jerk and you don't want to be a friendly person. I don't need you in my life. And I want to be I know this drives Mrs. Weedman crazy, but I just want to be that wild and fun, and I don't want
wild and crazy guy.
That's
You're gonna
it.
be like Chevy Chase.
Wild and crazy
Wild
guys.
and crazy guy.
Not like that, but I just want to be. I want to go out there and experience life on a way of not. How can I put it? I don't want to be a slug. I don't want to just sit at home.
Well, you've never been a slug.
No. I what I mean by that is I don't want to say no to fun things, and I want to be out there enjoying it and being in the moment and not being on my phone and not looking at what everybody else is doing anymore. That's probably some of the reasons why I haven't had an Instagram and a Facebook in a hot minute.
Yeah, lucky you.
And I haven't been going
Must
on.
be nice.
I haven't been going on social media that much either. LinkedIn I have been, just to keep track of cannabis news and stuff like that. And I still have all the articles I read and stuff like that. But I haven't been on social media that much the last couple of weeks. Not using my Twitter, TikTok here and there, Snapchat very rare, just to check messages from friends that send me some messages and stuff like that. But I have not been on social media. And I don't know if I'm coming back. I don't know.
I don't blame you.
Mrs. Weedman asked me the other day, she goes, "Are you ever going to start a new account?" I'm like, I don't know. And I don't want to live my life on a screen, which 95% of us do. And I'm not saying there's anything bad with that. Just it's your life. You could choose however the fuck how you want to live your life. I am just not going to live my life watching people view my views. If that makes any sense. I'm just going to go enjoy life, take plenty of pictures, and if people want to see my pictures, if you want to get a hold of me, email me, call me, text me. You can follow me on Discord. I still have a Discord. I think it's Weedman420. I don't even know. I'll post it. Mrs. Weedman, I'll post it, or I'll figure it out what it is. Find me on Discord. I play games. I game. So, I mean, I'm just not going to be that person anymore. And plus, why do I want to go to platforms that don't want people in cannabis on their platforms? Oh, we are the community guidelines. We're changing everything.
No, they've already shut me down, or not shut me down, but taken away some of my posts.
Well,
one of which I specifically made it educational.
Right.
It was a coloring book page with a weed leaf on it, and it said "Puff Puff Pass."
Right.
And I went on to say that cannabis can open avenues to creativity, whatever. It was all about the medicinal benefits, the positive benefits, trying to educate about cannabis and advocate. There was nothing, I didn't say weed, I didn't use the word, whatever. I'm like, something's not right with my Instagram. I go into my settings, boom. Yep. I'm flagged. And that was on January 2nd.
Right. And you were supposed to be able to, at least they were supposed to let it loose for your followers. They still weren't going to let non-followers see it. But you still got flagged. So to me, is like, why do I want to spend time on platforms and give them my time?
It's actually maddening.
My time.
Yeah.
Right? My time. I'm using your platform
it's
to share.
It's all a big commercial.
Right.
And people think they're on there sharing genuine content.
Right.
Yes. I'm not knocking anybody. A lot of people are spending a lot of time making content because we have to.
Right.
And it's a job. It becomes a job. And it is very challenging. And it is very exhausting to maintain.
For some people.
For some, it's an art. I mean, if you can dial it in and that's what you do for a living, you can make a day out of getting your 1 30-second video. It can be all consuming.
Right.
And I lost my train of thought.
I'm just saying I'm not giving them my content anymore because if you don't respect what you say is free speech, but I have to go by your community guidelines.
Right. Like we've got our settings. It's not reaching anybody young unless someone's faking and falsifying their information.
We're not selling anything, any weed. We're not selling any hard drugs. We're not fucking.
We're selling rolling trays.
We're not showing.
There's no tits and ass.
Right.
There's nothing inappropriate other than the fact that cannabis is involved.
Right. But I'm just not going to give them my life anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not. I for the last couple weeks, I'm like, you know what? They don't own me anymore. And if you don't like my content that was positive and a good positive message, and I was showing and sharing pictures from around the world, which I've done. I've been around, you know, and between Facebook, Instagram, I've given you thousands of pictures and videos.
And they took them all away.
All the way. And I'm just done. I want to go live life and use my mind and not spend time on the phone before I go to bed. I made it a point to be in bed and not look at my phone before I go to bed.
Zuckerberg said today he's changing his stance on community guidelines that talk about freedom of speech.
Yeah, sure. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go and live life and have some fucking fun and
Good.
enjoy it because I'm running out of time. And
Not necessarily. You have a lot of longevity in your
do.
family.
I do. It's what I'm saying.
I know
is
what you're
like,
saying.
I'm looking
you
at
see,
life.
You're seeing. Yes.
It hit me.
Yeah.
It hit me hard.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're around my age, you're probably feeling it. Like if you had some people you knew you went to high school with that were your age that passed away unexpectedly, or people that are a little older than you that were like totally healthy, and it's just like I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done giving my negativity to the world when I'm going to give my positivity to the world, and I'm going to give my life to me and you and our kids and our friends and the people we meet on the road and have some fucking fun and be just who I want to be moving forward.
Just be a happy person.
That's it.
It's pretty simple.
That's it. It's just the way it's got to be. I'm kind of over it all, and hopefully you out there can change your mind and just do what you got to do to live life and have some fun and be free and not have to rely. There's a lot of people right now getting laid off, not just only in the cannabis industry, but also in a lot of industries right now. As soon as Christmas is over, boy, I just started seeing the people on LinkedIn open for hire, open for hire, open for hire, open for hire, open
That
ready.
like they've
Got
left
laid
their
off?
job.
No, they got laid off.
They've really
getting laid off.
Wow.
And the cannabis industry is hurting right now, so a lot of
Yeah.
people are getting laid off. They got what they wanted for them for the holidays, and now it's like January 3rd. The next 2 months are going to be slow. They ain't got no money, so we need to fucking, get rid of some labor cost. And it's going to be a rough year, not only for a lot of industries.
For real estate. Hello,
Yeah.
anybody out there? You want a house? Got a couple of listings.
Yeah, it's just
It is quiet.
yeah. And so now's the time to reflect, get your goals straight, go out there running, go have some fun, live life, make money the way you can, the way you know how, and go do what you want to do. Don't let a job control your life. I know you need money. It's not what I'm saying. Go out there and do what you need to do to live. Got anything else, Mrs Weedman?
Yeah, I'm recalling that at the start of last year, the start of 2024, I came into the year feeling very optimistic about the year and feeling like it was really going to be a better year. If you've been around for a while, you may know that over the last few years, I've dealt with some personal health issues, and I'm in some ways on the upside of that now. My diagnosis has changed, and I am not diagnosed with a terminal illness anymore. So that's something to be happy about. Woo! And we've dialed in and changed medications, and I just feel like I'm me again. And that started probably back in about September, October, but I thought it was just false. I just kept waiting for the floor to drop out. Like, this can't be real. Like, I really feel like a human again. I feel like I'm back in the world, and I feel like my head is clear and my emotions are right and my health was feeling good, and like, whoa. So long story short is that I went through 2024 thinking that was going to be my entire year, and it really didn't happen till the last quarter of the year, but that's okay because I closed out 2024 feeling optimistic, just like I came into the year. There were a lot of bumps in between. It was a very rough year for me. I have a job. I've got a day job. There's stresses with that. I'm self-employed in my day job. Real estate, doesn't pay the bills unless you're selling things. And it was a difficult
ABC.
year. No, always be closing. I'm trying. But it's a tough year. I shifted away from working on a team, decided to go off and work on my own. So it's kind of a rebranding, and there's just logistics in that. And then my health was parallel at the same time, doing its own thing. And, we were struggling to find medications that were working effectively, but not making me feel like horrible and terrible. And there has to be a balance. And I know sometimes you have to take these medicines to make you feel better, and they're going to make you feel bad for a while. But I just couldn't live that way. And then you have the stressors. I was trying to build 8 decades, and I'm trying to help support Weedman 420, and we are on the go all the time, and we were trying to find a new home, and all of these things that were happening with at the base not feeling well. And so, but trying to put that smile on and go out there and just get shit done. I'm not one to lay around. I'm not one to sit
You're
there
not a
and
slug.
I'm not a slug. I tend to be optimistic and positive, and I wasn't feeling that way anymore. And I didn't like that about myself, and I didn't like where my mind was taking me because of my health. And it was just a whole big bad snowball storm. So I started the year optimistic. I went through the year shitty, but I got through it. And most of you probably didn't recognize that it was shitty, but it was really shitty. But I ended the year better. And this year we're going to tackle some more stuff to continue helping me feel better. And I've got good doctors, not that I didn't before, but I feel more confident in my doctors. And I've got people that are really interested in me feeling better and feeling confident in my medical care, because there's been some failures on the medical side. On the doctors, who are so intelligent, they've made some really big mistakes with me, and it's tough. So I'm starting 2025 saying that I ended 2024 happy. I feel happy now. I still feel optimistic. I feel like myself again in a lot of ways. Not 100%.
And your hair is banging.
My hair is flowing. I gave myself a hair. I am my own hairstylist. I gave myself a haircut last week. I'm like fresh. I'm ready. So 2025, it's not going to be a great year. Real estate's going to fucking suck. Excuse my French, but it's going to suck this year. We're going to continue cranking out episodes and bringing you news. The cannabis industry could be crazy this year. There's a lot of things kind of hinging on bills and laws passing, and lots of big changes that could possibly happen this year. And some of them could be great, and some of them could be just super destructive. And so it's going to be a year full of news, and we intend to bring you more and more of it and continue smoking lots of good weed with you guys.
Slurricane, baby.
Slurricane. I like Slurricane because my mind is clear.
That's 60-40.
Yeah,
60% indica, 40% sativa. So it still like has that brain function, but you get that couch lock.
But you get that nice,
and you still
relaxed
can talk
body.
and flow.
Yeah.
But not like we do. We smoked the whole joint last night before bed, and that's probably yours. Like, and then 2 edibles
And a couple edibles.
Yeah.
So we are starting off this year. We've got an event coming up. We're just going to navigate some waters, hopefully better this year, and hopefully see some more growth with our brands. And
Mrs Weedman's got some good ideas.
And I got some ideas that better fucking work eventually, because I'm always full of ideas. But these are good ones.
You got some good ones.
These
I'm
are
looking
good.
forward to them.
So happy 2025, everybody.
Ready to get the show on the road?
Yeah.
Let's
And
do
there's
this.
Yuki in the background.
She's ready to get the show on the road too. She's like, "Will you hurry up?"
Yeah. She's like, you guys are only at that point?
Yeah. You still haven't started the show
This
yet.
is a smart dog. She knows how long we're down here.
Yeah, she knows. Oh, man. 25 billion reasons and counting on why Big Pharma hates marijuana legalization. The numbers are in, and it's clear why Big Pharma is trying to block marijuana legalization around the world. This is from...
Yeah, we know why.
This is from Reginald Reefer, who we very, very
he's a
like.
good, he's a good writer.
He's a very good writer. Real reasons Pharma hates weed. Sometimes I forget that not everyone has the same relationship with cannabis as Reginald does. After spending over 2 decades researching and writing about and experiencing and medical benefits of this remarkable plant, it's become as normal to me as taking a daily vitamin. Cannabis is simply part of my wellness toolkit, the writer Reginald. A natural remedy that promotes balance and healing in ways that continue to amaze Reginald. But then I catch myself. I remember that for the most of the world, cannabis still lurks in the shadows of illegality. Despite the growing wave of legalization, countless people remain in the dark about their therapeutic potential. Their understanding clouded by decades of propaganda and misinformation. Much of the ignorance can be tracked back to Big Pharma's influence over the mainstream media and medical research. Though carefully crafted narratives and cherry-picked studies, they've painted cannabis as nothing more than a dangerous drug of abuse. Just some hippie grass with no real medical value. It's a masterful stroke of corporate manipulation that has kept millions from exploring this ancient medicine. However, the truth has a way of emerging, especially on our digital age. Recent studies are painting a very different picture of cannabis, one of the pharmaceutical executives breaking out in cold sweats. Not only is cannabis proving effective for a wide range of conditions, but it's also leading patients to reduce or eliminate dependence on prescription medications, especially opioids. Today, we're going to explore these groundbreaking findings and expose the real reason why Big Pharma is terrified of cannabis legalization. When you see the data on how this simple plant is impacting the bottom line, you'll understand what they fought so hard to keep illegal. So grab your favorite strain, Slurricane, if you're in a legal state, of course, and let's dive into the fascinating world of medicinal cannabis, which you're about to learn might just change how you think about the controversial plant and the companies trying to keep it out of your hands. The latest findings. A groundbreaking year-long study just published in the Journal of Pain and Palliative Care of Pharmacotherapy has caught the attention of Reginald and he believes it should catch yours too. The research followed 96 patients over 12 months of tracking the experience with prescribed medical cannabis for chronic pain and mental health conditions. What they found wasn't just impressive, it was downright revolutionary. Let's dive into the numbers, shall we? Within the first 6 months, patients reported significant pain reduction and improved mental well-being. That continued throughout the entire year. We're not talking about minor improvement here. A whopping 91% of participants reported their pain was at least a little better, with 75% declaring it was much better or very much better. But there were things getting interesting, especially if you're a pharmaceutical executive. By the study, and 55% of participants have reduced prescription pain medications use, and 45% have cut back on over-the-counter pain medications. The side effects, mostly just dry mouth and sleepiness, compared to the novel, lengthy list of potential complications from typical prescriptions pain medications. I'll give you the perfect example. Do you all watch TV? Do you all watch the medical industry owns commercials on regular TV, cable? And probably 1 out of every 4 commercials that go in between is some kind of medical pill. And the pill they tell you what the pill's good for. And then before the commercial ends, this pill may give you this, and this. And then you might have the shits and diarrhea, and you might have the shits again, and you might have this, and this go wrong. So what it helps for one thing, you have a list of 10 things that it might affect your body.
And I always like the ones that give you the possible side effects that are the same symptoms that you have from your condition. Like, what? They just want to make sure you get that symptom.
Of course.
In case you don't have it.
Where did I leave off
Sorry,
at?
Mr. Weedman.
That's okay. It's my fault. I should have put my finger on the screen so I didn't lose. Another recent study revealed that 57% of patients with chronic musculoskeletal pain found cannabis more effective than the other analgesic medications, with 40% reducing their use of traditional painkillers. I love it. After starting cannabis, the American Medical Association's own research showed significant improvements in the quality of life for people with chronic conditions like pain and insomnia, with effects largely sustained over time. See the pattern emerging across multiple studies we're consistently seeing 2 things. Cannabis works, and when it works, people need fewer pharmaceutical drugs. This isn't just about pain medication either. Patients reported decreasing their use of medications for depression, anxiety, and sleep problems too. For those of us who understand cannabis, these findings aren't surprising. But for Big Pharma, they're absolutely terrifying. When half your patient's base starts reducing their medications by 40 to 50%, that's not just a dent in profits, it's a crater. But here are the kicker. The number that Reginald just shared with you are just the tip of the iceberg. In the next segment, we're going to translate these percentage of drops in medications use into cold, hard cash. We'll see exactly why pharmaceutical companies are spending millions of lobbying against cannabis legalization. And trust me, when you see the figures, you will understand why they're sweating. Because let's be honest, it isn't about patients' welfare anymore, or was it ever? It's about protecting profits and margins. And nothing threatens those margins quite like a plant people can grow in their backyard, like we do.
What was that amazing movie?
It was the show
The
with
opioid
Michael
epidemic.
Keaton.
Oh my God! If you haven't seen that, you have to see that.
Dope Sick or something.
Dope Sick.
Yes, that was amazing. Pharma's losses in dollars. You ready for this? This blew my mind when I read it. Let's put these numbers in perspective, shall we? When we look at just one category of pharmaceutical drugs, say prescriptions, pain medications, we're talking about a market that's worth $25 billion annually. Now imagine watching 40 to 55% of your customers walking away, choosing instead to use a plant they might be growing next to their tomatoes. That's the nightmare Big Pharma's facing. Research indicates that pharmaceutical companies lost approximately $10 billion annually in states that with medical marijuana programs, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. As more states legalize and more discover cannabis therapeutic potential, these losses are projected to grow exponentially. But here's what really keeps pharmaceutical executives up at night. They can't monopolize cannabis like they do with their synthetic drugs. Sure, they can create cannabis-based medications, and they are, but they can't patent the plant itself. Mother Nature, in her infinite wisdom, made cannabis remarkably easy to grow and process. You can grow cannabis. If you think you can't, you can. If I can grow cannabis,
you can too.
Anybody can grow cannabis. Think about it. Any moderately skilled home grower can produce a variety of cannabis medicines right in their backyard. Want to make a topical salve for arthritis? Just infuse some cannabis coconut oil, which we have in our kitchen. Need something for sleep? You can make your own tincture. Looking for anti-inflammatory benefits without the high? Raw cannabis juice or leaves will do the trick. No pharmaceutical company required. The accessibility terrifies Big Pharma because it completely circumvents their carefully controlled production and distribution systems. You don't need a sophisticated laboratory or $1 million equipment to create effective cannabis medicine. You need soil, water, sunlight, and a little knowledge passed down through generations of growers. Hence the grow hour with me and Big Earl. Even more threatening is cannabis versatility. One plant can potentially replace multiple medications. A patient might use cannabis to manage their chronic pain. Goodbye opioids, help them sleep. Goodbye Ambien, and ease their anxiety. Farewell Xanax. That's 3 revenue streams dried up from a single plant growing in someone's garden. And let's not forget about raw cannabis consumption, a method that completely bypasses the need for processing altogether. Raw cannabis contains THCA and CBDA, the acidic precursors of THC and CBD, along with hundreds of other beneficial compounds, including terpenes and flavonoids and esters. The compounds offer significant therapeutic benefits without any psychoactive effects, essentially giving patients a nutrient-dense superfood that doubles as a medicine. I love juicing my leaves.
Yeah.
There is a real reason behind Big Pharma's anti-cannabis stance. It's not about safety concerns or the public health. It's about protecting their bottom line from a plant that threatens their entire business model. Cannabis represents everything they fear, a natural, effective medicine that people can grow themselves, process in their kitchens, and use to treat multiple conditions without ever stepping foot into a pharmacy. No wonder they're spending millions on lobbying against legalization. When your profit margin is threatened by a plant that literally grows like a weed, you've got a serious problem on your hands. The sticky, icky, dicky bottom line. Let me be perfectly clear about where Reginald Reefer stands. I believe every human being should have the right to grow their own medicine. I love you, Reginald. Whether it's cannabis, poppies, cocoa plants, or mushrooms, bodily autonomy means having sovereignty over your own consciousness and the ability to manage your own health. Isn't it terrible that governments think they can manage our health for us? They can tell us what we can do with our bodies, our choice. Hence Roe versus Wade. The idea that we need corporate gatekeepers to mediate our relationship with plants that have been used medicinally for thousands of years is not just absurd, it's morally reprehensible. Sorry. The evidence we've explored today paints a crystal clear picture. Cannabis works. It helps people manage pain, reduces anxiety, improves sleep, and allows countless patients to reduce or eliminate their dependence on pharmaceutical drugs. This isn't just anecdotal anymore. It's backed by rigorous scientific research. Yet millions still suffer needlessly because an industry more concerned with profits than patients continues to obstruct access to this healing plant. Every day we delay full cannabis legalization. We're choosing to prioritize corporate profits over human welfare. We're forcing people to remain dependent on expensive, often addictive medications when they could grow a safer alternative in their backyard. We're maintaining a system where healthcare is a privilege rather than a right, where healing is a commodified and monetized rather than oh my God, these words right now. DEMOCRATIZED.
Democratized.
Thank you. And accessible. The shift away from pharmaceutical dependence toward natural, self-grown medicine represents one of the most significant opportunities for improving human health and well-being in our lifetime. It's not just about cannabis. It's about reclaiming our right to heal ourselves, to make informed choices about our health, and to access the therapeutic tools nature has provided us. The science is clear. The benefits are proven. The only thing standing between millions of people and potential relief is a profit-driven system that values patents over patients. One more time. Patents
over patients.
Over patients. It's time to choose. Will we continue to support a system that prioritizes profits over people, or we will finally embrace the healing power of plants that grow freely under the sun. Reginald Reefer, Betty, I've read a lot of your articles, some on the show, some just to read, and this one is very well done. Thank you. Thank you for being such a great writer. Groundbreaking research reveals pot's potential to treat deadly disease.
Yes.
Tell us about it, Mrs. Weed. And I'm going to say this. This is not the disease you're all thinking of. This is a disease that a lot we've faced in our life, Mrs. Weedman and I, right? We've seen some people that have gone down this road, right? And this is dry January, where everyone after the holidays decides not to drink any alcohol, but we're seeing a big revolution in the millennials and especially Gen Zers, California sober, right? But just not drinking anymore. And it's scaring a lot. The alcohol industry, they're moving towards cannabis, right?
Yep.
So this potential pot treating a deadly disease is huge. So tell us about it, Mrs. Weedman.
Yep. According to the World Health Organization, roughly 400 million people, 400 million, suffer from alcohol use disorder. Over 2.6 million deaths are attributed to alcohol every year. 2.6 million people die every year from alcohol. Whether you're hit by a drunk driver, you drive as a drunk driver and die, you have a heart attack, you drink yourself to death, essentially. 2.6 million people. And look at the regulation for cannabis and alcohol. Right.
Crazy,
it
right?
It says something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, back on track. Concerns about the negative health effects of alcohol have led many to embrace a zero-proof lifestyle, but alcohol use disorder remains a serious problem. Fortunately, a new study of cannabis and alcohol addiction may reveal a solution. The research published in the journal Molecular Psychiatry centered around the cannabis compound cannabidiol, or CBD. As it turns out, the cannabinoid may play a vital role in treating AUD, or alcohol use disorder, in the years to come, offering intriguing results in the German study. Cannabidiol might be a particularly promising candidate, with preclinical data suggesting that CBD is effective in treating AUD symptoms and disease processes that drive alcohol use and relapse, due to its anti-craving, stress-reducing, and anti-compulsive effects, the study authors wrote. 28 volunteers with mild to severe alcohol use disorder were involved in the study. The average age was 35, with an average consumption of 46 grams of alcohol per day. I was curious to know what 46 grams of alcohol was. Easiest thing I could find was 40 grams of alcohol is roughly 2 glasses of wine or 2 pints of 4% ABV beer. So that would be it's not a lot.
16 ounces,
right.
So, so 2 pints is 32, a pitcher.
Nearly all had consumed THC at some point in their lives. However, there was no positive drug screens prior to the study. Additionally, participants had to abstain from alcohol for 24 hours prior to the study's start and could not be pregnant. The participants each took a capsule containing 800 milligrams of CBD isolate or a placebo pill. 3 hours later, they were subjected to combined stress and cue exposure in a laboratory setting made to resemble a bar. Afterward, the participants were sent to an fMRI scanner where neural responses to alcohol cues and cravings were assessed. Researchers discovered that volunteers who took the CBD had significantly fewer alcohol cravings than the placebo group. The CBD group also saw less reactivity in the brain's pleasure center. The findings were significant since this region plays a major role in addiction. By regulating this sector of the brain and reducing cravings, the study authors concluded the experiment supports the potential of CBD to treat individuals with alcohol use disorder. They added, it's the first time such biological evidence has been revealed, marking a significant moment for addiction research. This is not the only study suggesting cannabis may help treat addiction. A Canadian analysis showed medical marijuana consumption is linked to a reduction in drinking. Alcohol dependence affects millions of people around the world, and recovery is possible. This CBD study may introduce a new way to help reduce problem drinking that could change the face of addiction treatment forever. Let's hope for this to be a big win for weed.
Big win.
Yeah.
What's a pleasure center?
It's part of your brain.
Oh, okay. I thought it was something else.
Things that make you feel good.
Things that make you go,
That's the part of your brain that tells you this is good, have more.
Things that make you go,
Yes. Those.
I was going to say something, but I don't want you reaching over and slapping me in the face.
Oh, because I do that.
No, I'm just kidding.
I've got I did always want to be Plastic
You
Man.
could just take the
Could you
microphone,
imagine?
you just go like this.
Just bash it. Or push it at you.
Start 2025 prepped and ready with microdosing. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this. I got a little bit of time. Talk to some people, been reading about some people. When I had social media, people would reach out to me why they can't smoke cannabis anymore, because it gives them high anxiety. It's kind of a reversal. A reversal. Ignius told me, a friend of his, after 20 years, cannabis is giving him such high anxiety, he had to step away from it. And we're hearing that a lot. We're also hearing about the
Long-time users.
Yes,
Yeah.
long-time users. Our bodies, I believe, are not meant to smoke 40, 50% THC concentrates. I love hash, don't get me wrong. I love the flavor, the terps, the high. Distillate, where you can get carts that are like 85 to 90%. We've done it. I'm not bashing anybody. If you do it, this is your life. I'm not here to fucking tell you anything. I'm here to teach you, though, and guide you a little bit on why I'm seeing, when I've been smoking weed since I was 13, on and off, consistently, and, for years. But I started smoking weed when probably weed was like 5%, 3%, 2% THC. So your body got acclimated to that and got used to that range. I remember the first time I smoked a strain, and I didn't know how. It was AK-47 in 2001. I was fucked up. I was high. I couldn't move.
That stuff makes me laugh cry.
It does. But this was 2001, and I wasn't used to.
You weren't ready for it.
And I just smoked like it was a regular joint. It tasted amazing, smelled amazing, delicious. But I got all geeked out and paranoid. I was like, "Woo, people follow me? Woo, are they talking about me? Ooh, something's not right." And that was the first time I was paranoid.
I've had a few of those.
Yeah. And there's certain strains that probably don't go with my endocannabinoid system now that I've learned about the endocannabinoid system. But I'm just telling all you out there that you're having high anxiety. You need to step back and take a break for a minute. Go to a higher CBD or ratio maybe for a while, or maybe just get some CBD in your system to kind of wean you off a little bit of that high THC and to kind of work it out. Don't give up on it. You just maybe have to change your body, your equilibrium.
Your body needs a break maybe from it.
That too.
And like a little reset.
Yeah.
Right?
And don't,
and like you're saying, the CBD, like a real high CBD, very low THC, might help.
Do a high ratio of THC of CBD.
Of CBD.
Yeah, do like a 4-to-1 ratio of flower if you
High
can find
dose.
it out there.
I mean, if they're using 800 milligrams in the alcohol study
Yeah.
of CBD isolate.
Right. So I wouldn't even use isolate. I would do full spectrum or smoke.
Well, then you're gonna have a little THC.
If you like flat, you still want to keep at least 1% in there or something.
Yeah, but
like
if you're doing 800 milligrams of CBD, to
if you're gonna do that every day,
1 part THC,
right?
That's like what would that be? Would that be 8 or 80 grams?
Probably.
I think it would be 80 grams of THC.
But
That's still too much.
I'm talking about smoking. If you can find something that grows CBD flower that has a little bit of THC in there, like Big Earl grew 2-to-1, which was great. CBD to THC. Yeah. And then I'm just saying is don't give up on cannabis. Take a break. Give your body a break from it. Maybe introduce microdosing back into your system again. If you've been smoking for that long in your life, your withdrawals are gonna suck for a minute. You are gonna go through some withdrawals because your endocannabinoid system's been used to something healthy in your body.
What you'd feel like.
What coming down?
Yeah. The withdrawals, I wonder what it would.
I remember a good friend of mine when I worked at the brewery, been smoking weed forever. Probably like every day since his senior year of high school. He was then 36. The doctor said if you want to have kids, they did a test, and he had low sperm count, and he got off for 90 days. And that first 2 weeks, he was just sweating. Just
Really?
sweaty. He was just sweaty, you know, and he said he had his dreams were coming back. He hadn't dreamed in years, and he was waking up in cold sweats and just, but it didn't last very long, he said. He said it within like a week. In 2 weeks, he was fine. So, but it wasn't like hard. He was just like, whew, boy, you know, it was just like a minute to get his body had to get adjusted. And I'm a believer in, you know, sometimes you need a break, or we've always talked about moderation. You know, I don't smoke all day, all night. So, you know, there's people that do, and that could be a reason why, you know, and it could be something that your body's not like wanting right now. Your body, if you use this as a medicine, you know, you have to learn what your body needs and wants, right? You know, and adjust. If you're adjusting your THC percentage so much, it's not really that good. You know, you have to keep that low, the high stuff, man. It's just your body's not, the plant was never meant to be grown like that in the first place, and your body wasn't meant to take that kind of in. That's a lot you're taking in. And I just feel microdosing for beginners is key. I think microdosing helps if you're just starting to experiment with weed, and you go to a dispensary or you get some weed from somebody and you don't know what the THC percentage is. You need to let people know that you're new to this, or you haven't smoked in a long time. It ain't your dad's Cadillac anymore. It ain't your dad's weed anymore. It ain't my dad's weed when he used to sell back in the 70s. It ain't his weed anymore. This is a different style. It's grown to be a stronger plant. It's grown to have higher THC percentages, and you have to be wary on what you're taking in. So if you're starting new, starting fresh, get prepped up by microdosing. And after the holidays is tough. We're returning to a work routine. Weather right now in the Midwest, if you and even fucking a little south of us too, across that polar vortex going on right now, you know, nights are still, you know, longer, days are shorter. You know, sun's down by 4:20. You know, woohoo! And but you know, you get in this wintertime haze for a minute, you know, and there's something that could possibly help, and it's microdosing. So the holiday time of times off, festive activities and anticipation. But starting in January, it's back to work, long days, delayed projects, and credit card bills. But there was a good news. If you want to be focused and more upbeat, start 2025 prepped and ready with marijuana microdosing. As we look ahead, microdosing marijuana is emerging as a promising method for achieving calm and focus in our increasingly hectic lives. The approach involves consuming small, controlled amounts of cannabis to harness the therapeutic benefits without experiencing the intense psychoactive effects typically associated with large doses. Microdosing marijuana allows individuals to fine-tune their cannabis experience, achieve a delicate balance between sensory enjoyment and therapeutic benefits while minimizing unwanted side effects. By opting for carefully collaborated doses, users can maintain focus and functionality throughout the day, making it an ideal choice for work or other daily tasks. One of the key advantages of microdosing is its potential to alleviate anxiety and stress while promoting relaxation. Studies have shown that low doses of THC can dampen negative emotional responses without significantly impacting performance. This subtle effect can help individuals navigate stressful situations with greater ease and maintain a sense of calm throughout their day. For those seeking to enhance their productivity and creativity, microdosing marijuana may offer a unique advantage. Some tech workers have reportedly the small doses of cannabis provide a creative edge, potentially boosting mental functionality and innovative thinking. While more research is needed to confirm these effects, many users find their microdosing helps them maintain focus and clarity without distracting high associated with large doses. Each year, the cannabis industry continues innovation in microdosing products and delivery methods. Precise dosing options such as low THC edibles, vapes, or concentrates, and flower that you see in Colorado starting to do low-dose flower will make it easier for users to find their optimal microdose and maintain consistency in their regimen. It is important to note that effects of microdosing can vary from person to person, and finding the right dose may require some experimentation. Start low and go slow. Generally, microdosing ranges from 1 to 5 milligrams of THC depending on an individual's tolerance and desired outcomes. As always, it's advisable to consult somebody who's knowledgeable in cannabis or your healthcare professional before incorporating microdosing in your wellness routine. By offering a more subtle and controlled approach to cannabis consumption, microdosing may help individuals navigate the challenges of modern life with greater ease and clarity. Microdose, everybody. You know, start low and go slow. when we grew outdoors this year, when you grew, or last year you grew your first outdoor plant, and we had some males pop, and we had to get rid of them. You know, we did take a little bit and shake it on your plant to get just on one part of the area to try to get some seeds, which we did, which was great. But there is a rising concern that in the hemp world right now, pollen travels up to 2-3 miles. I don't know. You're going to tell us in a second. And far and wide on the wind. And study shows, and they're raising concerns for cross-pollination of hemp crops. Tell us about it, Mrs. Weedman. Oh, actually, before we get started, I'd like to congratulate all of our friends here in Illinois. Our friend Ingrid and a bunch of people went down to Springfield to fight for hemp rights here in this state of Illinois. And I don't know how many went, but it looked like it was a good crowd. And congratulations, because they won, right?
Yeah. Well, the bill didn't change.
Right, the bill didn't change. So
it didn't make it to the table. They pushed it to the next session, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Congratulations, hemp fam, hemp team. Way to go, Cannabis, for the win in Illinois. Congrats.
All right. A new study on the spread of cannabis pollen sheds light on the various seasonal and conditional dynamics that contribute to the risk of cross-pollination between crops, finding that pollen dispersal rates escalate from summer to autumn, and that pollen tends to travel further from its source during the daytime. The research, published in the journal Scientific Reports, explores this hardly studied issue that can have major consequences for hemp growers. Cross-pollination with nearby marijuana, for example, could cause a crop of planted hemp to exceed the federal cutoff for THC levels, or risk hybridizing hemp strains that were bred specifically for certain traits. Cross-pollination between crops in nearby fields has become a significant challenge, the report says, leading to contaminated seeds, reduced oil yields, and in some cases mandated crop destruction. This investigation represents a pioneering effort to assess the potential risks associated with wind-borne hemp cross-pollination, emphasizing the variability in risks across different seasons and geographic regions, wrote authors from Virginia Tech. The team used meteorological data and modeling to stimulate wind-borne hemp dispersion across the United States. For each county, they took weather data from a point nearest the center of the jurisdiction and averaged across local noon and midnight hours for each month from July to November to represent average day and night conditions, respectively. Using models, they simulated pollen dispersal, traveling in the downwind and vertical directions, counting the numbers of particles deposited. Overall, the study consisted of 31,070 simulations. Jeez. Authors said their goal in conducting this research was to aid hemp farmers and policymakers in better understanding the spread of hemp pollen and its varying risks across regions, seasons, and times of day. Cross-pollination has been a challenging issue for hemp growers, and I would love for the industry to continue to grow in the United States. Manu Nimala, the lead author of the study and a doctoral student in engineering mechanics at Virginia Tech, said in a university post about the study, "We hope this information can better inform policymakers as well as the farmers involved." Ultimately, the study concludes that variations in pollen dispersal patterns over time and region make it difficult to definitively prevent cross-pollination. Instead, it suggests adopting more adaptive strategies to manage risks and prevent losses. Such variability complicates the establishment of uniform isolation distances, suggesting the superiority of adaptive risk management strategies, authors wrote. These strategies could incorporate weather pattern considerations to mitigate cross-pollination risks more effectively, and could include measures like intertemporal zoning, farm quotas, cross-pollination damage insurance, and regulatory policies. Could you imagine that? Like you can't be within, 5 miles of the nearest hemp or cannabis farm, and here this is a hemp zone, and this is a cannabis zone. And that's a soy
That pollen
zone.
wants to pollinate.
Then,
they want to cross-pollinate.
Yeah. There's going to be cross-pollination damage insurance. Wow.
Reproduction.
So Nimala went on to say, with this data, we would advocate for community planning and encourage farmers to talk to each other about the crops they plan to plant each season. And that could go well, and it may not, if you ask me. These patterns could inform both spatial and temporal isolation strategies, and may even be insurance coverage related to cross-pollination damage. The study lays the groundwork for developing sophisticated approaches to managing agricultural cross-pollination risks, potentially influencing both policy and practice. Co-author Shane Ross, a Virginia Tech professor, said in the University Post that hemp is especially prone to unintentional cross-pollination. Due to its small size, he said, hemp pollen travels farther and deposits in greater quantities than other wind-pollinated crops. Our map simulates just how far pollen can spread, highlighting states and areas with the highest vulnerability to cross-pollination. This is only a first step in preventing unintended cross-contamination, Ross said. Our map reveals hard physics-based data about vulnerable areas, but it is up to the states and policymakers to decide the best approach to mitigate the problem. The new report comes amid increased attention by researchers and government officials on hemp production as cultivation surged following the nationwide legalization of hemp through the 2018 Farm Bill. While sometimes tedious, many of the changes signaling policymakers shifting their treatment of hemp from illegal crop to meaningful agricultural commodity. For example, the USDA recently announced changes to the federal hemp crop insurance program. The adjustments, which take effect next year, ease certain crop rotation requirements and remove smoke damage as a cause of covered loss. Nationwide, hemp operators insured $750,000 in covered liabilities on 2,600 acres of production in crop year 2024, USDA officials said as part of that announcement. The USDA has been working to bolster the nation's hemp industry, appointing a number of industry stakeholders this summer to a federal trade advisory committee meant to support efforts to promote U.S.-grown cannabis around the world. Meanwhile, the department recently announced it is delaying enforcement of a rule requiring hemp growers to test their crops exclusively at labs registered with the DEA, citing setbacks at the agency that have led to inadequate access to such facilities. This is the third year in a row that the USDA has delayed enforcement of lab testing policy for hemp required under the 2018 Farm Bill that federally legalized the crop. USDA also awarded $745,000 to the National Industrial Hemp Council to support efforts to promote the industry internationally in emerging markets across the world. While the USDA report found that the market started to rebound in 2023 after suffering significant losses the prior year, it's still facing uncertainties as congressional lawmakers have advanced bills that would effectively ban most consumable hemp-based cannabinoid products, which is a major sector of the cannabis economy. Senate Democrats recently released the long-awaited draft of the 2024 Farm Bill that contains several proposed changes to federal hemp laws, including provisions to amend how the legal limit of THC is measured and reducing regulatory barriers for farmers who grow the crop for grain or fiber. But certain stakeholders are concerned that part of the intent of the legislation is to eliminate a whole range of products that are now sold in the market. One key component of the legislation concerns the definition of hemp. As currently enacted, a crop is considered federally legal hemp if it contains no more than 0.3% delta-9 THC by dry weight. That would be revised under this new bill, so hemp would have to be tested for total THC content, including cannabinoids such as delta-8 THC and THCA, not just delta-9. Theoretically, this could lead to a significant upheaval of the hemp industry's evolution since the crop was federally legalized. The new draft would also create a specific definition for industrial hemp, which includes fiber, stalks, grain, oil, seeds, and other components of the plant that will not be used in manufacturing or synthesis of natural or synthetic cannabinoid products. Just today, as Mr. Weedman said, we heard that these changes were not passed. So that is great. Bipartisan lawmakers and industry stakeholders have sharply criticized the FDA for declining to enact regulations for hemp-derived CBD, which they say is largely responsible for the economic stagnation. USDA is also reportedly revoking hemp licenses for farmers who are simultaneously growing marijuana under state-approved programs, underscoring yet another policy conflict stemming from the ongoing federal prohibition of some forms of the cannabis plant. For the time being, the hemp industry continues to face unique regulatory hurdles that stakeholders blame for the crop's value plummeting in the short years since its legalization. Despite these economic conditions, however, a recent report found that the hemp market in 2022 was larger than all state marijuana markets, and it roughly equaled sales for craft beer nationally. We'll be following this topic and providing updates. So,
Go hemp.
Go hemp.
Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, we just talked about it last episode or maybe the one before it, that, they're fighting and they shouldn't be fighting. No. One needs the other. Yes. They both need each other. Yes. They just there need to be parallel opportunities for the businesses to thrive.
There's enough money for everybody.
Yeah, and we need both.
Yes, we do. Hemp is going to save the world one day.
Yes.
And it can, and it should.
We need those cannabinoids.
And thank you, Illinois fam, for going down there and fighting for the hemp.
Yes.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you guys and girls and everybody's.
It is that time of the year. What is the number one goal everybody puts down for when they're in the new year?
You're going to stop doing something or start doing something?
Get fit.
Get fit.
Diet.
Oh, yeah. Get
Instead
healthy.
of really thinking it's a lifestyle change.
Yes.
That's what it is.
It's not
I've stopped using the word diet probably 15, 17 years ago because diets don't work. They're prone to fail. They're fads. Workout routines are great. They're amazing. But you have to do the workout routine for it to work.
That helps.
Whether you take it Pilates, rounding, the rounder that you have now.
Rebounder.
I use it. I should know the fucking name of it.
Rounding.
Yeah, rounding. I love the rounding. But Pilates, yoga, karate, martial arts, whatever you decide to do, weightlifting, jogging, walking, whatever. You have not everybody, a lot of people, their number one goal is to get fit. Do you realize within the first 24 hours, most people break their fucking New Year's resolutions? Within the first 24 hours. I'm going to quit smoking. Okay, quit smoking. 24 hours later, you're smoking a cigarette. I'm going to quit doing this, that. And within 24 hours, you fucked up. And you might have 4 or 5 resolutions, but you already messed up one. It happens. We try. And that's what it is. It's all about. We're trying to get better, right? The one thing happens is when a fitness routine or a diet plan, it's prone to failure if you don't work it. So here's the thing. There's a big thing going on TikTok right now called the winter arc routine. As soon as I went on TikTok on January 1st, it was 20 fucking videos of people working out. Do this and do that. Eat this meal and do this and you can look like me. I was like, oh my God, I'm getting off TikTok for the next couple of weeks because I don't want to see it anymore. But how do you fit marijuana into your winter routine? Having a winter arc has become a fitness trend, and here's how to take it up a notch by using cannabis. Smoke break. The winter arc is a viral TikTok trend encouraging people to focus on health and wellness during the winter months. The trend is a self-improvement challenge that involves setting intentions to make changes to habits to get ahead of fitness and well-being goals. Incorporating marijuana into your winter arc can enhance your personal growth journey, and help you navigate the colder months with greater ease and enjoyment. With shorter days and chilly temperatures, cannabis can be a valuable tool for relaxation, creativity, and self-improvement. Fitting marijuana into your winter arc routine can give you an extra boost. Cannabis can be integrated into the process to help maintain focus and motivation. First, Dry January has a rival with California Sober. Gen Z has especially embraced the trend of replacing alcohol with cannabis. It is healthier and helps avoid weight gain. Consider using a sativa strain like a Tangier or Lemon Haze to boost energy and creativity when tackling your objectives. These strains can be particularly helpful for morning routines, providing a lift to start your day on a positive note. For evening routines, indica dominant strains like Northern Lights or Granddad Perp can aid in relaxation and stress relief. These strains can be excellent for winding down after a productive day, helping you reflect on your progress and prepare for restful sleep. Don't let the cold keep you indoors. Cannabis can enhance your winter outdoor activities, making them more enjoyable and invigorating. Strains like Jack Herer or Green Crack can provide focus, energy for winter sports such as skiing and snowboarding. For more leisurely activities like winter hikes, CBD-dominant strains like Harlequin or AC/DC can offer relaxation without intense psychoactive effects, allowing you to stay present and connected with nature. Incorporate CBD-infused bath products or topicals to soothe sore muscles and dry skin. Cannabis-infused teas or hot chocolates can provide a cozy, relaxing evening ritual. These practices can help combat winter blues and keep you on track with your personal growth goals. Use cannabis to enhance mindful practices like meditation or yoga. This can help you stay centered and focused on your winter art goals. Additionally, cannabis can spark creativity, potentially inspiring new hobbies or projects that align with your personal development objectives. Always consider health factors when using cannabis. If you're using it for medical purposes, consult a healthcare professional to ensure it aligns with your treatment plan. By thoughtfully integrating cannabis into your winter arc, you can create a holistic approach to personal growth that embraces both the challenges and opportunities of the season. Whether you're focusing on productivity, wellness, and creativity, cannabis can be a valuable ally in your journey towards self-improvement during the winter months. Make sure when you're starting a fitness routine and you're adding cannabis to your routine, please start low and go slow. Start off with microdosing. Don't overdo it because it might not always work for you with cannabis. I don't use cannabis when I work out. I've talked about this on prior episodes. You have lately have smoked earlier in the day and have gone and done your rebounder. Mm-hmm. You know, you have to just make sure you monitor what you're taking in, because you might, if you're starting off doing it, please just watch what you're doing when you're using cannabis and working out. So, okay. Good luck, everybody out there with your fitness goals.
I like smoking before I work out.
I know a lot of people that do. It's just not my thing. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody's got their thing, and that's just
before I eat, and you don't.
No, after I eat though, hell yeah. A couple of reasons why I don't smoke before eating. One, sometimes my smell gets heightened, and I don't like the smell of food then, and I don't want to eat it. And two, I have to fucking start all over. Because once you eat, you're sober. Then I got to start all over. And people are like, well, that's the fun of it. No, I'm in a good high. I'm in a good spot.
So what? You can get there again.
Nah. Sometimes that high is just that good, you don't want to fucking wreck it.
Yeah. I'd still eat.
I do. Later, I'll come down.
Right.
I'll go eat. And then but that's just how I am. You know, I'm just
that's just you.
You know that saying, cheap weed ain't good and good weed ain't cheap?
Right.
That's a great saying. Cheap weed accessories could get you a little higher, though.
It's possible.
Tell us about it, Mrs. Weedman.
Sure. Cannabis is no tobacco, but smoking anything can negatively impact lung and heart health. That is especially true for people sucking butane lighters. Ooh, why would you just suck that? Or phosphorus and sulfur-fueled matches to hit bowls, but not the hemp wick crowd. Nope, they're smart. Well, the most effective way to avoid health issues would be switching from combusting to vaping. Taking small steps to a healthier hit is possible. The first move should be changing from a lighter to hits with a hemp wick. Hemp wick is a special string used to light cannabis. It is a viable flame alternative since it takes fuel out of the equation. Pack your bowl, roll your joint, then you light your wick, and then bring the flame to your flower. Changing to a hemp wick could have multiple benefits, including less pulmonary stress and better flavor. This simple weed accessory is made with natural hemp fibers and beeswax. The fibers are coated in the beeswax, which holds the flame longer. This organic method makes for delicious hits and potentially reduces the cough factor. Lighting weed with a direct flame is common, but it might also burn off a lot of the cannabinoids, potentially reducing how high a person might get from their weed. Lighting up with butane can also alter the strain's flavor. Hemp wick burns at a lower temperature than a direct flame, which could preserve more terpenes and cannabinoids compared to other lighting options. As for your health, the traditional method of lighting bowls with butane lighters or matches can lead to trace amounts of chemicals leaching into your herb and your body, and nobody wants that. Butane is used to light the wick inside of lighters to create a flame, and inhaling butane is dangerous. It is toxic for the brain and predisposes someone to tachycardia. Matches might leave behind phosphorus or sulfur, which also poses a health risk. Both cause irritation and coughing, sometimes escalating to dizziness, nausea, and vomiting. Switching to a hemp wick instead could reduce the impact that smoking weed has on your body. Once the decision to use hemp wick is made, it is time to shop. First, learn the best product components and identify the best available options. Shop for organic wicks to assure that the industrial hemp twine and beeswax are free of pesticides and other things that nobody wants to heat and inhale. It's generally inexpensive and easy to find at most dispensaries or smoke shops, and just shop around for your best options. We have had these thin ones, and then we've had other hemp wicks that are like twice as thick. And I will say the thicker one I don't like because
it's tough to put out.
It's really tough to diffuse. Yeah. So that's my opinion. Those who prefer to DIY life and make things themselves, they can make their own hemp wick. It's a simple job and it doesn't cost much to pull it off. It's an all-natural option, and it is not the most common way to light up despite its many benefits. So we'd like to shed light on this weed tool and answer the most frequently asked questions about using it. So someone asked, does it expire? Nope, it doesn't. Both beeswax and twine have a long shelf life. Wax-coated wicks can get wet. Someone had asked if they could. They are completely waterproof due to the beeswax. There you go. Does it make a difference? Well, yes, using it burns at a lower temperature, which may improve weed flavor and effects, and it could reduce the amount of chemicals leaching into your hit. Hemp wick does not have THC or other psychoactive cannabinoids. However, since the cord burns at lower temperatures, it could burn off fewer cannabinoids compared to a direct flame, potentially getting a person higher than a lighter or other direct flame. That's interesting. More of like an entourage effect.
Yeah.
Right? Lighters are cool and all, but we're all about our hemp wick. Whether it comes down to health, flavor, or getting the most possible cannabinoids, hemp wick is the answer. And I get lazy sometimes. I'm like, I don't, because our last spool of it, I don't even think we used it all. It was just so annoying because it was thick and it was so hard to put it out that sometimes I would just grab the lighter and be like, fuck it. Just use the lighter.
I went back to the old one. Yeah, this new one is great.
This is a nice thing.
I mean, this one you can just put out with your fingers. It doesn't even hurt your fingers.
Yeah, and they have like little to-go packs. They look like long matchbooks and or like the shape of like rolling papers.
Yeah.
So you can have like on-the-go twine.
Yeah, all you cannabis companies out there that are giving away lighters.
Yeah,
start giving away hemp wick.
Hemp wick.
Yes, little coils of hemp wick with your name around it. Teach people how to smoke smart, as Paulie always says. And the show's not over yet, though. But Paulie always says smoke smart, right? Oh, our son of ours. Political, state, and business news. Illinois on tap to have the biggest year yet from tax revenue. Illinois is set to have the highest marijuana tax revenue in 2024 with $426.5 million, and you don't deserve any of it. Collected through November. Despite rising competition from neighboring states, Illinois cannabis industry remains strong, with social equity being a focus of Governor Pritzker's administration. However, concerns over the market's consolidation and decreasing tax rates have been raised. Social equity programs have been supported by grants and loans, but disparities between medical and recreational dispensaries persist. Over 20,000 marijuana-related convictions have been expunged since legalization. Governor Pritzker is bent on destroying the Illinois hemp industry. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker is pushing a bill for HB 4293 that could significantly harm the state's hemp industry by placing hemp-derived cannabinoid products under the Illinois Cannabis Regulation and Tax Act. Critics argue that the bill unfairly favors the marijuana industry and could force many small businesses to shut down, resulting in job losses. The hemp industry views the bill as a regulatory taking and is urging legislators to reject it, fearing it could destroy the markets. And yesterday, when they went down on January 6th, right, they fought for it, and it didn't pass yet. We don't know if it's going to pass or not.
Yeah, I didn't get into the thick of it.
Yeah. So when I read this article, it came out on Friday. I added it on Monday yesterday when I was working on the episode, and they went down there knowing today. But he's still pushing for it, even though it didn't pass yet. It's a yet. So keep on fighting, everybody. Though, free the plant. How many jobs could medical marijuana bring to Kentucky? What one state official estimates. Kentucky's medical cannabis program is launching, congratulations, on January 1st of 2025, potentially creating hundreds of jobs, particularly for cultivators and processors. Over 2,000 people have signed up for webinars on obtaining medical cannabis cards, but dispensary sales won't start immediately. The program limited scope, covering only 6 medical conditions, could initially keep demand low. Kentucky requires cannabis to be grown in state due to federal restrictions. The economic impact is anticipated to be significant, with large cultivation facilities expected to employ around 100 workers. Kentucky residents who participate in the state's new medical marijuana program, though, will be ineligible to own guns, feds warn. Isn't it our legal federal right to bear arms, whether we use cannabis or not? It's happening to me in Illinois. Mm-hmm. I got denied to own a gun in this. It's illegal. It's our Second Amendment right to have the right to bear arms, right? Am I wrong?
Right. Yeah.
Right. And now they're telling us we can't because we're not selling weed. We're using weed medicinally.
You can own them. You just can't conceal carry, right?
Yeah. But
with a card?
I can't.
And you
even
can't buy any more.
I can't even buy any more. If I
but
had
if you
them, I was
have
fine.
them, you're fine. But you can't buy any more. If you have them
now, and your Ford card, I still get my Ford card reissued every 10 years, but I can't buy a new gun. I can only have the ones that I bought before I got my marijuana card.
If you let your marijuana card lapse for like a year, could you buy?
I have no idea.
A gun and then re-register?
I would hope so.
Gray area.
Probably.
Business.
I wouldn't even call
business
it development.
No.
No.
Personal right development.
Yes, there you go. Kentucky residents enrolled in the state's medical marijuana program will be prohibited from purchasing or owning firearms per federal law. The ATF has warned that despite states' legalization, federal regulations could still ban cannabis users from possessing guns. Individuals must choose between legally owning firearms or participating in the program. While the ATF isn't actively pursuing marijuana and gun-related investigations, violators are at risk of federal prosecution. South Dakota medical marijuana dispensaries are going out of business after voters reject recreational legalization. Medical marijuana dispensaries in South Dakota are closing after voters reject recreational cannabis legalization. Oversaturation, declining patients' numbers, and financial burdens like high licensing fees and advertising restrictions have led to dispensaries struggling to stay open. Owners like B.J. Olson cited the lack of recreational legalization as a key factor into the closures. It's not even just the lack of... You can make money on medical if you had enough patients, but here's the deal. You have a state that doesn't like cannabis at all, and you won recreational, and the governor shut it down, and not this last vote, a couple of votes ago, 4 years ago. So blame it on your system of government there, South Dakota, and I feel sorry for you. Hopefully you can make it through, Mr. Olson, and hopefully be profitable in 2025. Judge halts Tennessee rules that would ban hemp products. A judge has temporarily blocked Tennessee's new rules that would have banned the sale of certain hemp-derived products, including Delta-8 THC. The regulations were set to take effect on January 2025 and aim to align with federal standards. The hemp industry pushed back, arguing that the ban would harm small businesses and contradict the 2018 Farm Bill, which legalized hemp. The legal challenge continues as the court reviews the state's regulatory approach. Yeah, your friend down there in the van, down by the river, who was selling some THCA products down there, he would have lost out, you know? Mm-hmm. Biden administration finally says American incarcerated in Russia over medical marijuana is wrongfully detained. Remember we talked about this a while ago, the teacher that got arrested at the same time, Brittany Griner?
Yeah.
And all they cared about is Brittany Griner. And they traded Brittany Griner for a known arms dealer that's now got caught again dealing arms. You think he was going to go back to be legit?
Right.
So I'm still pissed about this. That the Mark Fogel, an American teacher, imprisoned in Russia for medical marijuana possession as wrongfully detained. Now you're speaking up again. Yeah. He's there 14 years. He got 14 years for a half an ounce of cannabis, which he obtained legally in Pennsylvania for medical use. Advocates and lawmakers have long called for this release, drawing parallels to Brittany Griner's case. The designation is expected to intensify diplomatic efforts. So a school teacher who teaches our children, who's more important to our children than a basketball star. That's my opinion. I don't give a fuck. So what's the difference there? Why didn't he fight for both of them?
Right.
Clout?
There shouldn't be a difference.
Exactly. They're American citizens, whether you're a basketball player or a school teacher, is where I'm trying to get at. Okay? And it's wrong that he's got to do 14 years. And now, what are you going to trade for this one, Biden? We are on shit standards with Russia right now. So you're telling me you have no more leverage, no
To
more
get
arms
this guy
dealers
out.
to trade for. Mark Fogel, we're praying for you, buddy. Once budding, Oklahoma's weed industry faces tougher enforcement. Oklahoma's once rapidly growing cannabis industry is facing tougher enforcement as the state cracks down on illegal operations. Increased scrutiny has followed reports of criminal organizations exploiting the industry, resulting in tighter regulations, more inspections, and a slowdown in licensing. Many small businesses are struggling to stay afloat amid the heightened enforcement and rising operational costs. The state aims to weed out the bad actors while maintaining a fair playing field for legal businesses. Jimmy Carter. This is a little long. But Jimmy Carter, rest in peace, 100-year-old president, former president of the United States of America, one of the few presidents that supported decriminalization in his time. President Jimmy Carter, peanut farmer turned U.S. president, turned statesman, philanthropist, passed away December 29th at age 100. In his hometown of Plains, Georgia, Carter was the first and potentially the only U.S. president to speak out in favor of decriminalizing adult possession of cannabis, a.k.a. marijuana. President Carter, a Democrat, addressed the U.S. Congress on August 2nd, 1977, and called for an end to criminalize cannabis use. Penalties against possession of a drug should not be more damaging to the individual than the use of the drug itself. Under his proposal, every adult would be legally allowed to keep an ounce of marijuana for their own personal use. The plan's popularity and favorable public attitude first peaked about 1978. The Gallup poll in 1980 found that 53% of Americans favored legalizing small amounts of cannabis. The decriminalization proposal was originally advanced by a blue ribbon commission appointed by Republican President Richard Nixon, who instead declared the war on drugs, and was ignored by his successor, Republican Gerald Ford. Carter revisited the Schaefer Commission findings and took up the issue in one of his first formal addresses to Congress as president. Congress failed to act on his request, and due to largely to a hostile news media that refused to talk about any of Carter's accomplishments and instead focused on the inflation and Iranian hostage crisis. Like Carter's allowing the DEA to spray the herbicide paraquat onto cannabis growing in Mexico that was destined for the U.S. market turned a lot of young people against him. Republican candidate Ronald Reagan's team illegally negotiated with Iran to hold the American hostages until the November vote and was elected in 1980. Reagan famously launched Phase 2 of Nixon's drug war, which more violently a campaign of media disinformation, employment job testing, sleep mandatory minimum prison sentences, property fortitude, and a raft of conspiracy and snitch laws designed to allow high-level drug dealers off if they turned into the street dealers, low-level distributors to face the consequences. The Iran-Contra scandal showed that Reagan's White House engaged in cocaine distribution as part of the ongoing relationship it had with Iran and South American terrorists. By the end of Reagan's 8 years term, public support for legalization had dropped below 20%. Jimmy Carter, thanks for fighting. I know Willie Nelson smoked on top of the White House rooftop when you were president, and I know you were friends with him. And he and you, I wonder if he ever smoked with Willie when he was retired. That'd be great. I guess Willie and him are taking that to the grave. USDA highlights work to unlock hemp amazing nutritional benefits for consumers and its economic value for farmers. The USDA has highlighted its efforts to unlock the nutritional benefits of hemp, focusing on its protein-rich seeds, omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, and potential for heart health. Researchers exploring ways to incorporate hemp components into everyday foods, aiming to boost demand for the hemp products and improve farmers' economic prospects. The USDA's work also supports the expansion of hemp industry, including advancement in crop insurance and international promotion. Hawaii Governor signs executive order protecting medical marijuana caregivers who grow for patients after lawmakers neglect to extend deadline. The governor of Hawaii has signed an executive order protecting medical marijuana caregivers who are responsible for growing cannabis for patients from undue enforcement, stepping up the policy fix after lawmakers neglected to extend those protections that expire under current statute. Legalizing marijuana in Indiana in 2025 appears unlikely. Boo! Boo to our friends in Indiana. Man, oh man, oh man. Hopefully you're not the last state to legalize it. Legalizing marijuana in Indiana by 2025 appears unlikely, with Republican leaders in the House and Senate opposing the move. Justin Swanson, president of the Midwest Hemp Council, argues it's a matter of freedom and opportunity for Hoosiers. 2024 survey of Ball State University found fewer than 10% of Hoosiers think pot should be completely illegal. 32% supported medical marijuana, while 54% supported recreational cannabis for adults. New York retailers have now officially sold $1 billion worth of legal marijuana, governor announces. The New York officials have announced that the state's legal marijuana market has now surpassed 1 billion sales mark, with all the problems and issues they had over the last, since recreational. I mean, and to do 1 million, we're not even having
like a functioning program.
I mean, it's an okay program.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have enough dispensaries. I mean, called the milestone a testament to the hard work of those people who helped the strongest cannabis industry in the nation. One that prioritizes equity, ensures public safety, and empowers communities. Legal cannabis shops in New York will soar, though, to a sky-high 625 in 2025, regulatory say. Yeah, because they know that at 625 dispensaries, they're going to have Michigan numbers in that year, and then they want to get to 1,200. They want to double that. They're going to be like a $6-7 billion industry, like big. Federal judge in Texas rules the ban on gun ownership by marijuana users is unconstitutional, as applied. A Texas federal judge ruled that the ban on gun ownership for marijuana users unconstitutional as applied to a specific defendant. The ruling highlighted the government failed to prove the defendant was intoxicated at the time of the incident. The judge emphasized evolving legal precedents, including rulings from the U.S. Supreme Court and the Fifth Circuit, which challenged the constitutionality of the statute restricting gun rights for the sober individuals with past substance use. The case reflects changing Second Amendment jurisprudence. Right? Did I say that right? Mm-hmm. You're not making fun of me. I said it right?
No.
All right. UNM Cannabis Program helps thousands of enter the industry. The University of New Mexico's Cannabis Education Program is helping residents jumpstart careers in the cannabis industry with open enrollment until January 13th. New Mexico's cannabis industry is booming, employing nearly 10,000 people across the state. For many of these professionals, their journey began in the University of New Mexico, where a unique cannabis education program has already helped nearly 2,000 individuals gain the skills they need to thrive in fast-growing field. FDA warns CBD tampon company over allegedly misbranded and adulterated products. The Food and Drug Administration is warning the manufacturer of CBD tampon that is allegedly adulterated product is not approved for sale in the U.S. and is currently being misbranded due to the addition of the cannabinoid. Boo-hoo. Man, I was hoping to get some CBD tampons.
Jesus. All right.
Tell us about this, Mrs. Weedman. Some more information. And this is probably, I don't know, I'm going to say the last time, but for right now, how the cannabis industry will thrive in 2025.
Yeah. The cannabis industry has reached a critical point. Despite most states having some form of legal weed and the majority of Americans supporting federal reform, the plant's Schedule I status continues to cause regulatory and financial headaches. With much uncertainty about the future of cannabis and hemp, many operators find it challenging to be optimistic, and rightfully so. Green State wanted to head into the new year on a high note, so they asked the cannabis community how they plan to thrive in 2025. From emphasizing teamwork to putting a new perspective on business, these pot pros put a positive spin on what's ahead. First topic is collaboration and community reign. One theme that kept popping up in responses centered on cooperation. Many asserted that the industry is stronger together and hoped to make collaboration part of their plans to thrive in 2025. Quote, the more cannabis brings the community together, the more solid our foundation will be, quote, said Catherine Sidman from Refined Lab Group. Another quote, 2025 is the year of mutual aid and global partnerships, collaboration over competition, end quote. That's Dennis Walker, mycopreneur. And then another quote, the word of 2025 is unity. For years, our sector has been at odds. Legacy versus MSOs, cannabis versus hemp, rec versus med. In 2025, we are calling on everyone to unite behind wellness. Whether cannabis helps you socialize, sleep better, enjoy a hike more, soothe a backache, or just makes your life better, we can say that cannabis is wellness. That's Livy McKay from My Tepi. Next topic was keeping it local. For some industry pros, the phrase for 2025 is think globally, act locally. From the legacy family farmers in the Emerald Triangle to the emerging markets working toward prosperity, these responses are focused on strengthening communities. Quote, 2025 is the year we rise up and stop playing into some ridiculous story about people not caring about where their flower comes from, or that there is no difference between craft flower and mass-produced mids. Quote, that's Judy Nelson from Soul Spirit Farm. Another quote, we plan on leveling up and making our stores pillars of the community, beacons of hope, and making sure that we can prove that in 2025, you can have a company with purpose, rules, principles, and values, and be profitable. That is Vlad Bautista from Happy Monkey. Next topic is thinking outside the box. Cannabis is a brand new industry emerging from the shadows of the underground. When asked how they'll thrive in 2025, these professionals said creativity and innovation will drive their success. Quote, I have been tracking and saving what's working in other sectors and applying it to this sector, adjusting to meet this space. It's helping me realize how we can elevate the work and results while not losing track of the audience that matters. That was Andrew Ward from Award Creative Content. Another quote, in order for cannabis brands to not only survive but thrive in 2025, there are 3 things they should focus on. First, they'll need to be innovative, creating excitement and keeping customers engaged with new product offerings. Second, brands will have to get creative with how and where they show up in order to attract a new segment of the market. And last but not least, brands must obsess over the consumer experience, giving customers a reason to remain loyal. That's coming from Karina Santos, Hometown Hero. Next topic is embracing change and putting consumers first. One of the hot topics in cannabis centers on change. Whether it's rescheduling, new technology, or welcoming new consumers to the space, the world of weed looks a lot different than it used to. These responses all focused on the future and core business practices that'll help the wheels turn in 2025. Quote, if we or deschedule, and Internal Revenue Code Section 280E is no longer applicable to cannabis, we will all be thriving. In the spirit of collaboration and gratitude, I can't think of anything that could help this industry thrive in a more holistic way than to end 280E. It would be the embodiment of a rising tide lifting all boats and would support every business in all sectors, no matter how big or small. That's Mitchell Colbert, writer. Another quote, 2025 is about staying alive. Focus on the 3 Ps, people, products, and processes. Make sure you are thriving in those 3 core areas of your business and find joy in every day. That is from Kelly Bruce, the Canna Mommy. 2025 is poised to be a game-changing year for the cannabis space. From whispers of federal reform to more consumers trying the plant, there's no doubt the space is poised for evolution. While challenges will likely remain, the Green State team hopes the space sees positive developments and a chance to thrive.
Hell yeah, 2025, a time to thrive. Seemed to be the
That's
repetition.
The
buzz. Thriving in 2025 or thriving. I like the unity thing.
How will you thrive in 2025?
How will you thrive in 2025, Mrs. Weedman?
I'm just working on shit, man. I'm just working. No, I'm gonna fix some shit.
You're gonna fix some shit?
This brain's gonna get right.
That's it. That's it. Thriving in 2025.
Thriving.
I did like the unity part though. I have an idea, but I'm not gonna share. Seems like every time I share an idea, it's being used somewhere.
Yeah,
it's great
because people are listening.
I guess so. Mrs. Weedman.
Can we just get a royalty, please?
Yeah, Mrs. Weedman's like, I just read an idea we had talked about 2 years ago. Somebody's doing it.
It's like every week. It's like, oh my God, another idea that we didn't act on. What the fuck? I should be just a forecaster. If someone wants to gamble, I'm not a gambling person, but I will tell you what. if I tell you something or give you like a pointer on something that would be profitable or predictable.
You've had some ideas. You've had some ideas. You've had a lot of ideas, but you've had some
there's
concepts.
Products that I have wanted. They can't find them anywhere, and then like 2 years down the road, it's like, oh, there's that product. I buy clothes, and you're like, what is that? I'm like, it's gonna be cute someday, and a couple of years down the road, it's cute.
Yeah. And even the clothes you wore 20 years ago, which now
I wish I kept
wants them all because they're all in style again.
Wow.
International news.
Yeah.
The MLA calls for cannabis decriminalization, claiming the war on drugs has failed. Jerry Carroll on MLA for People Before Profit is advocating for cannabis decriminalization in Northern Ireland. He argues that the war on drugs has failed, pointing to the high prosecution and conviction rates for cannabis possession, particularly among working class youth. Carroll suggests that resources should be directed toward education, support services rather than criminalization. He also cites global examples of success decriminalization like in Germany and Portugal. India's farmers risk jail to grow lucrative cannabis crop. India's eastern region's farmers are cultivating cannabis despite its illegal status, drawn by its high profitability. The cultivation of cannabis, classified as a banned drug, offers substantial financial rewards, leading farmers to risk legal consequences. The practice has sparked discussions about the potential benefits and drawbacks of decriminalization cannabis cultivation in the country. New French Health Minister Yannick Neuter says he wants to learn medical cannabis. New French Health Minister Yannick Neuter said Wednesday that he wanted to study medical cannabis in France, while saying he remained opposed to legalizing it recreational use. Province gathering public input on changes to allow legal home-grow cannabis in Manitoba and Quebec. The Manitoba government is seeking public input on a proposed amendment to cannabis regulations that would permit individuals to legally cultivate cannabis at home, aligning with federal standards. The proposal includes requirements for indoor cultivation and restrictions to prevent access by individuals under 19. Additionally, licensed retailers would be authorized to sell cannabis seeds. Public consultation began on January 2nd, 2025, and will continue for 30 days with feedback accepted online. The initiative aims to harmonize provisional regulations with federal laws, allowing residents to grow up to 4 cannabis plants per household. The government emphasized the importance of safety and compliance with the Cannabis Act. UIC 2025 Australian Medical Cannabis and Symposium to 21st through the 23rd February of 2025. The UIC 2025 Australian Medical Cannabis Symposium will take place from the 21st to the 23rd. This symposium will feature comprehensive programs that cover various aspects of the medical cannabis sector, including industry, cultivation, regulation, and compliance. UK police discovered cannabis factory in town center. Cannabis factory with hundreds of plants have been discovered in central center of town market. Norfolk police said a large number of mature plants, mostly between 5 feet and 6 feet. I saw the picture. They were beautiful, by the way. Were found inside a property of Norfolk Street, Kings Lynn, just before midnight on December 31st. Officers also found various items of growing equipment and evidence of electricity abstraction. It said all the plants and items were seized and the electricity supply was made safe. It added no arrests have been made. Justin Trudeau, long involvement with cannabis. Justin Trudeau's personal and political connection to cannabis has played a significant role in Canada's cannabis legalization. His stance evolved after witnessing the inequalities of the criminal justice system, which were underscored by his brother's 1998 marijuana-related incident. As a politician, Trudeau led the charge for legalization, aiming to reduce criminal activity in youth excess. Under its leadership, Canada legalized recreational cannabis in 2018 with the focus of harm reduction. Trudeau also supported pardons for those with possession records and making his commitment to social justice. Also, he is retired. I don't know what you want. He's stepping down as the Prime Minister of Canada, I think, by the end of January. So, you went to a church. And not the Church of Latter-day Saints in Utah. You went to the Church of Cannabis in Colorado.
I did.
And
Yes.
the Church of Cannabis raises questions around what it means to be a church, right?
Yes.
Tell us about it, Mrs Weedman.
So this is the writer's perspective. Fun fact about me, I love going to church. It's one of my favorite places to hang out. That may sound strange, a young yet grown woman who enjoys spending the majority of her time in a church, but it's true. And I don't just mean Sunday service or Bible study. There's something about being in a place of worship that simultaneously puts my soul at ease and sends my spirit soaring. I grew up in church. I was one of those kids who was in the pews a minimum of 5 nights a week, including some Saturdays for choir and praise dance practice. Church is where I've made some of my earliest and longest lasting friendships, where I slept in the laps of women who I think of as family, and where I learned about God and His plan and His purpose for my life. As an adult, church is where I have an excuse to get dressed up and feel confident, where I can hear amazing music, and where I can be in community with like-minded people who love me. In church, I feel safe, I feel enlightened, I feel joyful, and I feel lifted. And that's exactly what a church should be, right? Well, there's a church in Colorado where people are also getting lifted up in the spirit of community. In fact, they're literally getting high at the International Church of Cannabis in Denver. Congregants gather to worship by smoking weed. We call it elevationism, Church of Cannabis co-founder Steve Burke told CNN. You can be an elevationist Christian, you can be an elevationist Jew, you can be an elevationist Buddhist, you can be an elevationist atheist. The whole concept is that you use cannabis in your spiritual journey to be a better version of yourself. The church is one of the top tourist attractions in Denver and has over 19,000 regular members. Visitors can smoke on the premise at private members-only events, and the church is open to anyone of any age during their non-smoking public hours, where guests can congregate to read, talk, play games, do crafts, or see beyond light show, a colorful display of abstract lights that play along the walls and ceiling of a domed chapel and fill viewers with an elevated spirit. Some of you reading may balk at the idea of a weed church that encourages drug use in a place that's traditionally considered to be sacred ground. But I don't think that marijuana or the fun and games makes the ground any less sacred. In fact, it might make the church all the more holy. In biblical scripture, Jesus defined his church as more than just a physical space. Church is community, a source of goodness in the world, where the body of Christ comes together. A church, by this definition, is any place where people of all walks of life can gather to find spiritual connection, deeper learning, and a greater sense of purpose. If you're looking to elevate your mind and your consciousness, and find a place where you belong without judgment, and it's fun for the whole family, I would say this is the place, one member told CNN. All churches are not created equal. Some of the most traditional churches are places where the congregants feel the least safe or elevated. Maybe their experience in a chapel has been one of judgment and abuse. Church attendance has been on a steady decline for most religions in the United States, including Christianity. Scandals, hypocrisy, lack of community involvement, and intolerant attitudes have turned people away from the church, especially younger generations. For too many people, church isn't fun, it's suffocating. Shouldn't it be a place where people can gather and feel free to be themselves? I came to church as a child because my grandparents and parents made me, but I stayed in church as an adult because I found something that was right for me. I found fun, I found freedom, and I found myself. It's on that sacred ground where I find my peace and purpose. Church is where I become a better version of myself because it's where I can feel I can be the best, most of the authentic version of me. It's where I learn to see myself as God sees me. Church is where you go to find God, and in doing so, you find yourself. I wish that feeling of discovery on anyone who walks into the doors of a sanctuary or wherever they choose to worship. If your church doesn't leave you feeling higher than when you walked in, then what's the point of being there? So that's cute. I like that she's not closed-minded to the fact that there's other ways to practice religion and faith, and it doesn't even have to be necessarily religious. It could be spiritual.
Right.
There is a difference, right?
Yeah.
And I was there. I had to go to Denver, what was it, last October? For my uncle's funeral services. Right. And our last day, my cousin, he's much younger than I am, so he seems like a nephew. But my cousin Peter took us around town, and then we went. I don't know how we came across. Anyway, we went to he wasn't with us. I just remember that. But we went to the church, and it was really cool. It was like a gift shop and a lot of cannabis history and artwork and sculpture and some clothing and knickknacks and things like that. But
I got a shirt. Thanks.
Yeah, there was space to like sit down and read, and you could, like, just chill out there. There were books, there were board games. It was just neat. It was interactive. And then you could go, if you pay, you can go into the church, into the actual church. And the pews were kind of like, there were some rows, but there was open area in the middle and pillows all over the place. So you were kind of encouraged to get comfortable. Lay down on a pew. You could lay down. I don't remember if people laid on the floor or not. I think you could lay on the floor. There were mats and things. But yeah, so we got really baked before we went in, and we watched the show. And it was a laser light show, and it was really, really cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I want to go.
Yeah. And then apparently they have services. So if you're a member and you go there, it's your church.
Right.
They have services, like
That's
some
cool.
sort of community, the gathering,
Right.
and then they pass the peace pipe.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
I mean, the church is the rock, and the rock is the whole planet.
That's right.
That's it. So, that's what I believe. So, there's a poor spider monkey.
You
We were
told
talking
me
about this earlier in California.
It's so funny.
His owner, which you can't legally be allowed to own a spider monkey because they're an endangered species in California. But this poor spider monkey, the owner blamed him for being busted with weed in his car and said it belonged to the spider monkey.
The monkey's
And the
weed.
monkey's a baby, a little baby monkey, a little chickie monkey. Just a little being there, and the poor monkey, the picture of this poor little
Poor
monkey,
little
right?
monkey.
Oh, my God.
Got accused of being a pothead.
So this man committed a crime, gets busted, right? This California man chose to ignore the advice Monday night and was reportedly speeding in his Rolls-Royce Ghost when officers pulled him over. Then luckily discovered an adorable surprise, a 1-month-old spider monkey wearing a onesie.
Like a baby.
Oh, and they found 5 cell phones and a shit ton of weed, report the LA Times. Marijuana is legal in California, but selling it on the black market is not, nor is owning a spider monkey. As a result, this person now faces charges of driving under the influence, possession of an exotic animal, and possession of cannabis for sale. And of course, he could just prefer to buy it in bulk, and the weed was for personal use and for the monkey,
Yeah.
who was the dealer selling it to him. But something about the 5 cell phones suggested that the monkey was not the culprit.
Couldn't be the monkey.
No
That's too
chicken
many
monkey.
phones. I mean, he
No.
was only a month.
He's only a month old.
Maybe if he was like 2.
Years or
Yeah.
2 months?
Yeah, like 2 years.
Well, the spider monkey, which has since been named Marcel, looked undeniably cute in its onesie. Also endangered. The young ones need skilled caretakers. And the authorities later discovered that sometimes the monkeys suffer from rickets.
Oh.
And that they can they need certain nutrition. And also because of their malnutrition, they get bone disease.
Oh.
Yeah. So don't worry, though.
This guy's
Marcel's
okay.
in good hands now.
Yay, Marcel.
On Tuesday, the California Department of Fish and Wildlife brought the monkey to the Oakland Zoo,
Hey.
which specializes in providing sanctuary and care for exotic animals confiscated across the
They
state.
better watch out with that guy. He's a drug dealer. He's going to be stealing shit from other cages.
Oh. Before Marcel made it to the Oakland Zoo, though, it spent the night in the arresting officer's home before being left in care of the Madera County Animal Services while waiting for Fish and Wildlife to arrive. The director of Madera County Animal Services took care of Marcel. It was just a matter of keeping the monkey warm against me with a blanket, she told the Times. We fed it mashed banana and gave it water. It did
my
have a
God.
diaper that was changed.
Oh.
Marcel dealing weed and
Little
getting caught.
pothead.
Yeah, he's probably
Little
laughing. He's probably
pothead
like, that human got busted, but it was actually me the whole time. Marcel, I'm glad you found a home. Oh, chicky monkey. So, oh, man. Ms. Weedman,
Mr. Weedman.
that's the end of the show.
Yeah, it is.
You got anything else to say?
Happy New Year, Mr. Weedman.
I love you.
Love you.
Thanks for everything.
Yeah.
Thanks for
You
making me
too.
unscroogey. Everybody out there, don't forget, take care of yourselves. Be happy. Live some life. Have some fucking fun. Go enjoy it, because you only live once, as my brother Bigfoot always says. Get to living or get to dying. Everybody out there in the world, we love you. Be kind to one another. As Paulie always says, smoke smart. Puff, puff, and away.
Puff, puff, pass.
Check out our cannabis lifestyle brand online at 8decades.com. Our custom smokes and accessories are perfect for your coffee table, bedroom nightstand, or kitchen counter. They're designed for you to show them off. The Canna community is also loving our hemp and cotton blend t-shirts, sweatshirts, scarves, and hats, finished off with our 8 Decades logo. We've got some awesome long-lasting goods that will be your favorite for years to come. 8 Decades, because a 9th decade of cannabis prohibition isn't acceptable.